Hi everybody, last week we tested out the LS Tech driver against the standard G head driver. Whilst there was very little in the difference for the performance for me, the LS Tech driver did what it said on the tin and spun a little bit lower, particularly off centre hits. So I was able to maintain distance basically by having a lower spinning headed driver, even on those off centre hits, which can, if the head and shaft combination is fitted incorrectly, you can lose a lot of distance off those strikes. So I was very pleased with that. Today we're going to use the LS Tech 10-degree driver again, and we're going to test the two different shaft options with Ping. That is the Alta 55-gram shaft and also the Tour Stiff 80-gram shaft, which, if you remember, was the one that I was fitted for last week. Okay, so let's start off with the Alta. It's important to mention that the Alta is a half-inch longer than the Tour S, and that can be, generally speaking, higher ball speed players use slightly shorter shafts because we're looking for control rather than distance. But that said, a longer shaft that's lighter can deliver more speed, and hopefully, if you strike it right, you can generate a little bit more distance with that as well. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so first thing I notice is the launch angle and spin rate has gone up. I find this shaft a little bit torquey, so I can feel a little bit of twisting on impact. For lower speeds, that can be quite helpful because it can help to generate a little bit more speed and also help to square up the club face. I just find that club a little bit too light, and I don't feel like my hands and the club head are working together quite as well. I mentioned before my tendency is to fade the ball, so on that occasion I left the club face a little bit too open for my liking. It's more of a slice than a fade, and the spin rate and launch angle went up through the roof, so I lost a considerable amount in carry there, just a shade under 250 yards, so that's not something I'd be happy with. Let's give it another go and see how we get on. Again, the launch angle and spin rate have gone up, even though the flight of the ball was a bit straighter, it was a little bit of a push. I can feel the club head trying to get in front of my hands there. Spin rate there was 3,400 yards, so in terms of generating more launch and more spin, that shaft works really, really well, but it's not quite what I'm looking for. So let's have a look at the Tour S. Straight away that felt better. Whilst I did hit my normal little fade, the launch angle comes down to what I'm used to, 13 degrees or thereabouts, and the spin rate is 2,500 revs, which for my club head speed is ideal, just over 100 miles an hour. And again, 13.9 degree launch angle, spin rate was 2,800. If anything, that strike was a little bit towards the heel, which tends to spin the ball up. But again, the right shaft and head combination, the LS Tech head and the 80-gram stiff shaft, I'm still keeping that spin rate down nice and low. Carry goes up to 260 and my overall distance of 280, which is about right in what I experience on the course. So if you have any questions about the heads or shafts that are available and what they might do for your game, get in touch with myself or Brian, and indeed if you want to try out any of the models on the course yourself, we can certainly blind fit you into something that might suit and then do a more accurate fitting later once you have a feel for the driver.